Hi guys, I'm Kevin Bach from CenterPoint Archery, and today I'm going to run you through unboxing and assembly of the Tyro Recurve crossbow. So this model requires some assembly, but if you follow these steps, it shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. So first we're going to install these plastic tips onto the ends of the limb. So it's important that these are seated down properly, so what I like to do is line them up and then press them on a hard surface to ensure that they're seated. So now we can assemble the limb. In this kit you'll find 3 press pads, 2 that are a soft plastic and 1 that's metal with a detent in the center of it. To get started, you'll take one of the small plastic inserts and press this up against the back of the limb slot. Now you can stack the additional inserts on top of the limb, making sure that they're in between these white lines. You're going to put one plastic one down first, and then you'll put the metal one down, making sure that the detent is facing up towards you. Now you can insert the limb into the limb slot. This is the tricky portion of the installation. You'll need to wiggle the limbs into place while making sure that the pads stay in alignment. You'll want to center the limb so you can see both of the little painted white lines evenly on either side. In order to ensure this is perfectly centered, you can use a tape measure and take measurements from either side of the limb. Now that we have the limb perfectly centered, I'll take one of my hex wrenches and tighten down the screw on the front of the bow. Now you want this to be snug. I usually go about as tight as I can get it with the supplied tool. With the limb tightened down, now we can install the stirrup. We'll take a Phillips head screwdriver and remove the screws on both sides of the metal riser plate and then loosen the screws on the bottom. When installing the stirrup, make sure it seats over the barrel nut, which is this small black cylinder. Once you make sure that the holes in your riser plate and your riser are in line, then you can reinsert the screws and tighten those down. So with that all tightened down, now we can install the string. You'll do so by taking the stringer and setting it on the limb like so. It's very important that you keep it in this orientation. So with the stringer attached to the limbs, we'll now put our bow into the fire position, put our foot through the stirrup firmly, and then pull up onto the stringer so it seats into the trigger assembly. And it'll lock into place. With the stringer taking up tension on the limbs, now we can install our string. You'll do so by threading the string in between the loop you've made with the stringer and then hooking around the end of the limb. And just make sure that the string is seated in the grooves in the limbs. So now you'll put your foot back through the stirrup, place the crossbow on fire, and pull the trigger. Now you can remove the stringer, which will take a little bit of force to do. Generally speaking, you should never dry fire a crossbow, but in this instance, seeing the stringer only keeps the limbs under a little bit of tension, it's safe to dry fire. So that's the assembly of the Tyro Recurve crossbow. Once you get the optic and your quiver mounted, you'll be all set to take this to the range. For more information on this and all other CenterPoint products, check out our website.